Fuck you, Seth. Welcome to the Big Motor Small Blade Podcast. I'm Buddy Pulley.
I'm right.
Fuck you, Seth.
I'm Chuck.
You're Chuck. All right, cool. We've established the obvious.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Chuck's having an aneurysm, and we're off to hell of a start. So Martinsville, quite a bit to talk about. What, Seth?
I don't have dinner with Chuck tonight because I already ate it because Buddy took too long. But we got two liters with Chuck.
Chuck is drinking a full 2-liter Sprite right now. What is wrong with you?
So,
that was a rhetorical question. That was a rhetorical question.
I was about to say we don't have all night, buddy.
No, we don't. Anyway, what was that about over 75 pounds, Seth? Anyway, Martinsville. How many Martinsville hot dogs did we all eat?
I didn't eat one.
Oh, okay.
Line was too long.
Okay.
I mean, I second that, but I ate 2.5.
Ate 5.
You know what? If the line, because Chunk started eating his and then decided he didn't like it because it was all the way. So I just finished it.
Well,
but if the lines weren't
how is he supposed to retain his nickname of Chunk if he doesn't eat the all the way hot dogs?
Because he doesn't like mustard. I don't know.
Mustard is kind of grody.
So I got enough for like me to have
Kids
a couple
days.
And then Abby to try one, Nate to try one, and Hunter and Caleb to try one. All 4 of them opened it up and was like, what is this on it? And I was like, just try it. I thought the same thing when Evan made me eat it all the way when in the spring. And Hunter's like looking at it, and then he takes a bite of it and he goes, and he's like looking at me, and I was like, it's good, ain't it? Caleb liked it. Abby threw a fit, and I had to take all of it off of her so she could eat the normal hot dog, and my brother ate half his. So, yeah. Abby's privileged.
What's that about over 75 pounds, Seth?
There's an old saying going around. Can't remember what it is.
Anyway. Okay. Hot dogs aside.
Let's just say though, the two of you who really like food, weigh significantly more than the one who doesn't really like food. So I just wanted to point that out. I'm winning by losing. So
I don't know that means you're winning. Anyway. Chuck and I are enjoying life.
Yeah.
Judging by your facial expressions before the podcast, you don't seem like you're enjoying life very well, Seth. And your driver's in the Final Four, and ours aren't.
A long, complicated conversation that doesn't need to be on the podcast.
That's for a different podcast.
Yeah, that is not what this podcast
That's
covers.
The mental health podcast.
Yeah. Meanwhile, tune in the offseason. What are we doing?
I don't know, but Chuck gave up on his Bass Pro Shops hat immediately for his other hat. And
is that the local hooker hat? No, it's not the local hooker hat.
Local hooker hat's right there. You want me to get that one?
I don't care.
Fine. Okay. Didn't think it mattered.
It's fine. So that's Panthers. They're all gonna be local hookers if they don't win some fucking games.
They did win a game.
They won a game.
Really? They did?
So poor Chunk, he wasn't supposed to know we were going to Martinsville on Sunday. And I had to tell him he couldn't go to a friend's birthday party. So we accidentally convinced him he was going to the Panthers game, which why would I force him to go to that? And then, of course, when he thinks we're going to go to the Panthers game and then we don't, they actually win.
Sounds like you're a bad brother.
Also, I've been moving my computer trying to get my screen to be like not shadowy. And I just realized my brightness was down. So.
Okay.
All right.
Those
ratings we were talking about before we started the show. Maybe this is why.
This is why.
But yes,
Caleb,
my Panthers,
we miss you.
My Panthers did finally win a game. They scored a whopping 15 points. I'm proud of them. Not really, but I'm happy about it, and I'm wearing the hat. Yes.
Okay. All right. Your Panthers have won just as many games as Kevin has left in his career.
That's embarrassing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So yeah, into some actual racing. Do we want to tackle this fucking behemoth that is the Xfinity race?
Yes.
absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about that. Where shall we start? The
Austin
74
Hill.
hold on, the 74 cautions that preceded it
Y'all are
were
gonna have to take that one. I didn't watch.
yeah.
I actually didn't either. I was chucking, but
Okay.
How many
well,
chucks could a chuck if a chuck could chuck chucks?
we don't have time for that. Yeah, that Xfinity race, they wrecked a lot in that Xfinity race.
Is that what made it so fucking awesome, bruh? That's my impression of a dog.
what was that?
That is my
I'm
impression.
scarred.
That's my impression of a Darf. Like, man, dude, fucking they wrecked all the time. Hell yeah, bro. Okay.
I have no words.
Yeah. You shut up for a few minutes and think about what you just said. No, I mean, yeah, it was caution after caution. And I mean, you just knew it was going to be what it was at the end. And the two RCR guys lined up there. And I think Sheldon Creed wanted Austin Hill to lose more than Sheldon Creed wanted Sheldon Creed to win. Like,
I don't think so.
Like. I mean,
I don't think so. Because look,
could have fooled me.
If that's what he wanted, he could have just shipped his ass into turn one, like he said.
Yeah, well, we heard Richard Childress. Sheldon Creed's not the smartest. He's not the sharpest Spock in the book.
Maybe, but I'm not going to get onto him for not wrecking his teammate in turn one.
Yeah. No.
There's 4 parts of this we have to cover.
Yeah.
The 2 drivers and what they said, Andy Petrie and Richard Childress.
Mm-hmm.
We can start with the drivers.
Three of them win the dumbass award.
And I'll say, what the fuck is Austin Hill so mad about? I watched that replay.
He's mad that his teammate brake checked the fuck out of him in the middle of turns 3 and 4 for no reason.
Well, why did he try and wreck him down the back straightaway?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe if he wanted to race back to the line, he shouldn't have tried to door him into the pit road barrels going into 3, and Creed wouldn't have slid up and brake checked him.
Yeah.
Like, he raced him as clean as you could possibly race a guy when you have to win at Martinsville up to that point. And Austin Hill threw an Austin Hill temper tantrum into turn 3 like he typically does every time something doesn't go his way. And it just so happened to bite him in the ass this time because Sheldon Creed's had enough of his shit over the past 2 years, and he parked it right in front of him. And I don't even know if that was 100% just giving Austin Hill the bird. I think he was just trying to back him up, and he slid up too much and let the 7 underneath him. But I don't think it hurt his feelings that he wrecked the 21 in the process. But Austin Hill has screwed Sheldon Creed out of so many good finishes and a couple wins. It's not even fun. Just go back and look at all their history together. How many super speedway races have they been up front and they've worked together all day, and Creed's gone with them all day? And then all of a sudden, Austin Hill bails on the 2 in the last 10 laps, and Creed will finish 20 something or getting a wreck. And Austin Hill, Austin Hill won the race. How many times has he bailed on Creed and screwed him over? And you don't see him crying then.
Gotta win.
It's stupid. And Richard Childress, for a guy that just said Sheldon Creed's the dumbest person to ever drive one of his race cars, must not know who his kin is that drives his race cars, is all I'm going to say.
Or like, what's his name? John West Townley. I think he was pretty stupid.
Yeah, that too.
For several reasons, aside from driving race cars. I don't know. I don't really have much of a problem with anything. Ultimately, much of what happened on the track. I thought Creed brake checking him was a little unnecessary, but yeah, I mean, Hill doored him, but they bumped. It's
not even what happened. That's not what you keep saying that. That's not even what happened. He drove it in too hard because they were side by side and got up and had to get the car fucking turned, so he got on the brakes. He wasn't just brake checking him solely to brake check him.
mean, you could have fooled me. Like, I mean, it looked
I don't know.
like
I feel like what happened there is pretty obvious, and I don't know.
I think, yeah, he probably slid up the hill, but like he spiked it. Like it was whether it was intentionally brake checking him or not, it was either intentional or it was really dumb, whatever it was. But aside from that, I mean, whatever. That doesn't really matter as much as like the comments that were made after the race from Richard and Andy. I mean, whatever happened on the track aside, that's the real bulk of the idiocracy that was this race.
Austin Hill blatantly just announcing Creed to JGR in his post-race interview is a pretty bad look too. Like,
well, that's Jordan Bianchi putting it out there.
We all knew, but when it hasn't been confirmed, that's not the way to do that. And it just makes you look like an ass. And Childress, that was not
all Austin Hill does is make himself look like an ass.
Well, what Childress said wasn't bright at all. And Andy Petrie,
he caught his driver, his active driver,
stupid.
However many races he's got left or not, the dumbest driver he's ever had in his cars. Like,
which is like not even remotely close to true, by the way.
Whether it's true or not, it's a bad PR move.
And then you gotta
understand Petrie, that, bro. Like
Andy Petrie walking down there yelling at Sheldon Creed, calling him a dumbass. And Sheldon's right. Had the roles been reversed, nobody would have said a single word to Austin Hill.
Well, Andy Petrie's had his head up his ass for a long time. Richard Childress, at least. I mean, he should. So, I mean,
the only reason
wild of me to believe that Richard Childress would show professionalism. He hadn't really done it in a long time.
I was about to say, has Richard ever done anything previously that would lead you to believe he would make a different decision this time?
No,
this is who he is.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to the Kevin Harvick. I mean, just the way that situation was handled. Like anytime someone wants to leave RCR, they're just crucified by him, and this is it's getting worse. Obviously, reasons I'm not gonna disclose on the podcast, but
I think is funny, so funny, is that Austin Hill's like, oh man, I can't wait to get Jesse Love as my teammate next year. Maybe he'll race me cleaner. I like Jesse Love, but has Austin Hill watched any ARCA races this year? Because he ain't getting much different than Jesse Love. If Jesse Love is behind Austin Hill and has a faster car, Jesse Love is going to move Austin Hill.
Well, I will defend Austin Hill. He is
not shied from it ever.
Hold on. I will defend Austin Hill here because I, too, have not watched any ARCA races this year. So
let me fill you in.
I don't know.
Jesse Love.
I don't care, honestly. I'll see it next.
Not so friends.
I also don't care. It's ARCA. Like, I mean,
why are you watching ARCA races?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could win an ARCA race. Like,
watch them. It just kind of pops up on the NASCAR Roots channel every week, and then I'm like, oh, who did Jesse Love move this week?
I'm just saying. If you put me in the Gibbs ARCA car, I think I could probably win. Just saying. Maybe. Either way, this whole situation is just dumb. Like it's just nothing but just dumb.
But it is just peak RCR.
So yeah. I mean, it's very on brand. It's just never ceases to amaze me for whatever reason.
I didn't realize. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I didn't realize till like last night that Custer only made it because he threw it in reverse and backed across the line.
Oh yeah. That was a big brain move by old Cole.
That had some serious Kyle Larson, Charlotte Roval 2018 vibes.
That's what I thought. I was like, no, that's cool.
I want a Cole Custer absolutely relentless shirt. Dude, that wreck though. That was a hell of a wreck. I mean, Jeff Burton hit the hell out of that wall. Like that was some Danica Patrick, like I'm gonna make the damn highlight reels if it kills me type shit. Like
he hit that wall so hard.
I mean,
I
dude,
couldn't fathom the first couple times I watched the video why the wall didn't move.
he responded to it. He said, I was committed. Bro, oh my
Really?
God.
Really?
To what?
You were facing the turn 4 grandstands when you hit the wall.
He was committed to test. He was committed to testing the safety of the Xfinity car.
I guess, bro.
Like,
Like, oh my God.
Bro was looking like towards the railroad tracks as he started spinning, and by the time he got to the wall, he was like halfway to the hot dog stand.
I mean, dude, all you hear is full throttle and then like, I mean, just straight up fiber on steel. Like, just, I mean, never mind. I can't say that. Anyway, yeah, Justin Allgaier won in the middle of all this. Underrated drive by Justin Allgaier. Like, I mean, lost in the sauce of what was the RCR debacle. I mean, Justin Allgaier drove a hell of a race, and he's getting to go to Phoenix now because of it.
Also, one other thing from the Xfinity race, I just like want to know what in the world goes on in that garage area, because Sammy Smith, not that Sammy Smith matters that much, but obviously he has a teammate in the Final Four. And for some reason, in an interview after the race, he said, yeah, he's not my teammate next weekend. I have no teammates next weekend. Bro, what does that mean? Why? What did John Hunter do to him?
He blocked him on a restart.
So,
well, hold on. I'll defend Sammy Smith here. John Hunter blocked him on a restart. The same restart, I'm pretty sure, that John Hunter got out of line way before the start-finish line. That didn't get called.
Okay. See, I didn't see that. So I'm just like, you got RCR going at it with each other, and Sammy Smith not caring that his Gibbs teammates in the Final Four, and
well, they got to make up for lost time. They've been losing all these JRM cars wrecking each other all year.
Yeah. That's why this happened on Saturday. RCR felt jealous.
That's it. We cracked the code.
It's just jealousy, man.
Yeah. Speaking of RCR, we have shit on them quite a bit. Give them credit though; they had a hell of a fan day on Friday that I went to. Woke up at 3:30 in the morning to go to.
I'd forgotten about it, so I'm up at 3:30 as I always do. And Buddy sends a snap. I'm like, why is Buddy up at 3:30? It's weird. Anyway, just thought that was funny.
No, I woke up at 3:30 in the morning and went down to RCR fan day and got a wristband to meet Kevin Harvick, and that was just a fun day. Just a fun day. Met some really cool people. Shout out to Alex and Michael and Nicole, and they're great people that I met in line, and we had a grand old time. Walked through the museum. We studied some wildlife, and some questions. So well, there were some mannequins in there, and we were discussing whether Richard shot them too or not. Then we were also trying to figure out what kind of animals they were. There was one animal in there that kind of looked like Happy, and I had to check the ring camera at home and make sure Happy's still there. And we discovered that he shot which we had seen it before, but a polar bear. You can't do that anymore. That's illegal now. It was shot back in 1973 when it was legal, but it was quite the time at the old RCR fan day. That's such a minuscule part of the day. It was a very good day, and I do commend RCR because it was lots of things to do, lots of food trucks, just a lot of fun to be had. Very, very well put together. Shout out to our buddy Jeremy for he had a little demonstration showing off SMT data, which was really interesting. Like I learned a lot about SMT and learned how to use it and what it's all about. And that was really cool. But yeah, 10 out of 10 fan day.
Chuck, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm great.
You look so bored.
Yeah. Well, now Chuck knows how I feel anytime he gets on a rant. No, I mean, met Kevin Harvick, obviously. Big deal for me. He was great spirits.
Got your final win car signed?
No, I haven't gotten that signed yet.
No.
It hadn't come out yet, Seth.
Hadn't happened
no,
yet.
Yeah, I got to saw Kevin, and he was a great spirit. He seems really excited for what's to come, and just it was a moment, as well as many moments have been this year, of Kevin just showing how much one he appreciates, the flowers he's getting at the end of this deal, but also how content he is with with his career.
And you didn't ask him if he's going to run the South Carolina 400. What is wrong with you?
I know. That is one thing. I didn't ask him if he was going to run the South Carolina 400.
What an idiot.
I apparently put a lot of pressure on him when I told him I was going to Phoenix. Like he cared. Shout out to Kevin Harvick. He shout out to me. I was the only one wearing a vintage Kevin Harvick t-shirt at RCR Fan Day. I was bamboozled by that one.
Everyone was just,
absolutely
all the Harvick
absolutely
people were
flabbergasted.
Current gear.
Yeah, they were all wearing 29 Wilkesboro stuff. Which fair, totally fair, absolutely. But I was the only one I was wearing an AOL 2001 shirt. Nobody else was. I was shocked.
And did Kevin say anything about it?
Yeah, he was like, that's a badass shirt. Like, thank you, Kevin.
That's cool. That is cool.
But yeah, I feel bad for Austin Dillon. He wasn't Pop special boy that day, but you'll get him next time, champ. Pickleball champion Austin Dillon.
All right.
Yep.
That
was my day. It was a great day. Shout out to those three people I mentioned earlier, Alex, Nicole, and Michael. They're good people, just good people.
Another Michael.
Good race. Another Michael. Yeah, just good race fans.
Well, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Did you give them cards? Are they listening?
No, but they have me on Instagram, so they'll see that this is up.
Okay.
I didn't have any.
They're gonna get 2 minutes into this and be like, "I'm not listening to this. Chuck's an idiot."
Yeah, I mean, they did. They are good race fans, so yeah, you're probably right. They won't listen.
They realize there's other podcasts.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, anybody that's currently listening to this right now, you're great race fans. That's what that means.
I applaud you.
Yeah.
I don't understand how, but yeah.
Yeah. You could join us on that mental health podcast we were talking earlier, and we could all figure it out together.
That one's going to come out on Wednesdays now.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're editing it, I ain't fucking.
That's why he needs a mental health podcast. He ain't doing this shit no more.
Anyway, so getting into the cup race.
Cup race, yes.
What do we think about the old what's it called? Xfinity 500?
Yeah.
It sucked.
Oh,
elaborate.
Okay.
That's just too simple.
Yeah, we had this conversation. We gotta be analytical.
I have been waiting on this all day.
Mr. Writer.
It makes me so mad because all over Twitter after yesterday and all day today, everybody's talked about, this was so much better than the spring race. Yes, it was. It was such a good short track race. No, it wasn't. Everybody's talking about how much better the next gen car is getting and how the tire worked and the tire fell off. It was great. I feel like the entire sport has gotten complacent with sucking. And the moment sucking got a little bit better, all of a sudden it was great. I saw, and I'm going to call his name a couple times today, and I've never met the man, and I will tell him to his face he's an idiot. Brian Murphy on Twitter tried to say that this race was better than some of the Gen 6 races at Martinsville. Find him.
Oh.
Please find him. because if I remember, it was better.
Hold on.
I can think of one.
I can think of two. It was better then.
I can think of two. Okay,
but that's because we had a car more like the Gen 6 as far as the package goes.
Oh yeah,
or more like the Gen 7 as far as the package goes. So, 2019.
Anyway, yeah. Other than that was terrible. Yeah, there was two cars that could actually pass cars on Sunday. It was the 11 and the 12. That doesn't make it a good race. Yes, there was tire fall off. Kudos to Goodyear for bringing a good tire. That doesn't change the fact that the car itself still blows. It's still not a good race. Just because it was better doesn't make it good. And I'm tired of seeing that it was good. Gluck's poll was 80% good, and that's influenced partially by who won the race, but still, it was better. I'm fine. Whoever wants to call it better, fine. It was better. It was nowhere close to good. Brian Murphy even said, because somebody said, and I thought it was funny. Somebody was like, give them late models, which I think is hilarious because late models at Martinsville are great. And he said, you think the late model product at Martinsville is better than what we're watching right now? Yeah, absolutely it is.
That's a wild comment.
Have you watched the Martinsville 300 every year? Did you watch it this year?
No.
Yeah, anything is better than the Cup car at Martinsville right now. So yeah, I'm done now. I've been waiting all day to talk about how stupid this is. The floor is yours.
Okay.
Fair.
So the only thing I want to say, or the first thing I want to say is it is very frustrating that we are complacent with suckage. But when it does improve, even a little bit, because usually these things don't happen in one fell swoop, you do kind of have to point it out, and you got to be a little positive about it.
Bingo.
I think that's fair. Now, again, still the big issues with this car, we still didn't see a major improvement on it, but the two things we did see, there were at least a couple drivers who could drive through the field. Over the past 3 years at Martinsville, the only guy I saw drive through the field at all was Denny Hamlin in the first part of last year's fall race. That was pretty much it.
Three races, not 3 years.
Yeah, three races. Sorry. That only happened one time, and we saw multiple guys, or we saw Ryan Blaney, we saw Denny Hamlin. Truex kind of came through the field a little bit. Even Byron moved up at the end of the race. So I would call that improvement. The tire wear was still not where it needs to be. The 4 team ran the last 200 plus laps on the same set of left side tires. That's bad for a Martinsville race. That's not good. So, yeah. That's what Denny Hamlin said on Actions Detrimental anyway.
Start off, I don't know that that's true. I think Rodney said they were thinking about it, but Rodney didn't think that was a good idea. But I could have been wrong.
Okay, either way, the last run was about 160 laps. Yeah,
that doesn't really matter. I think this race was exponentially better than any Gen 7 race we've seen at Martinsville. But that says a whole lot more about how bad the other 3 were than how good this one was. Because, I texted you guys middle, like 50 laps into the race. I said, this blows. And it didn't get much better. I mean, it definitely, you're right. There were, I'll put it like this. I thought this race was going to be worse than the other 3 because of the way the new tire was described to us. It sounded like it was not going to work. But we got into practice. It laid a lot of rubber down, something we hadn't seen. And it did have more tire fall off, not enough, but more. So I appreciate that we are moving in the right direction. But this is the NASCAR Cup Series. I said it a couple weeks ago. It is, we are trying to get to a point where we don't have to adjust on this car. And that's not how it works. Like racing life anything you do in life, you have to continue to grow and continue to reevaluate and continue to make better. And it seems like we're chasing complacency, and the fan base, they don't, I mean, we've already established a lot of them don't know what they want. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's frustrating. I'm glad we're moving in the right direction. It still seems like the people who are vocal about it are still aware of the issues, so that's good. But yeah, there are definitely quite a few people who were more pleased than they should have been with this race.
I just want to clarify, because I know I got up on my soapbox and ranted. I'm fine with people who applaud the fact that it was better than the previous three, because it was. And I understand we have to be positive about that. My problem is the comments I've seen where it was like, I'm not going to call any more names. The ones where it's
over
like
positivity, yes.
Where it's like, oh, well, you're not going to get much better than this. If you want better than this, you just need to give up. No.
Yeah.
Because it still was not good. And the reason
like we had 150 horsepower, it'd be a whole fuck of a lot better.
I've been going to Martinsville for 15 years. And that totals to probably about 25 Martinsville races, because I didn't go to 2 for a while. I've seen probably about 20 Martinsville races better than this one.
Yeah.
So
the crazy thing for me, which this is a whole other thing I might talk about later, stage 2, I was walking around looking for water, and I was under the grandstands on the front stretch. My seats were in turn 4, and I had memorized what the field was, like the top 15 maybe, when I got up and left my seat. So I knew what order everybody had been running in. I'm in line trying to get hot dogs and water, and I see an opening, and I look out at the track, and I'm like, I wonder what order everybody's in. And I counted the first 15 cars. This is like almost an hour, probably hour and 45 minutes later. The only spot that had changed was the 11 and the 12.
Yeah.
Like, and I
the
was
4
like,
car had a good car today. You couldn't tell because he.
And I was like, oh, well,
shafted.
I guess I'm not missing anything standing in this 2,000 people line for hot dogs, because nobody's passed anybody. So yeah. I don't know. Anyway, we can move on if y'all would like.
The crowd was amazing.
Yeah. Really.
Absolutely.
This is going to be a hella unpopular opinion. I don't understand why. Not only have we seen subpar racing at Martinsville the past 2 years now, 2 seasons, it's the worst track to go to on the schedule as far as like amenities. Like I'm sick of the old charm that it's the excuse that essentially is what we're using. Dude, we got to do better. Martinsville could be a championship racetrack if we just put a little bit of money into it. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, every aspect of it is just subpar. And I mean, I'm annoyed with it. You can't, you mentioned it. They ran out of water fucking a third of the way through the race.
Yeah, I'll talk about that in a second.
Those famous Martinsville hot dogs that get hyped up, you're going to be missing half the damn race if you want to get one. It's gross. The whole track is gross. Like, I mean, you're walking around, there's shit spilled everywhere that was there before anybody got there. The bathrooms are not terrible. They're pretty bad, but they're not the worst. But not much. I mean, the ticket prices match it. I'll give them that, but not much to offer.
Yeah. So, Seth, do you have anything?
This is being magnified more because the racing's not good. If the racing was great, these things could be overlooked more, and that's the reason we had a packed crowd. But when the racing's not good and know the racing's not going to be good, and you show up and this is what you got, then it makes you less willing to go back.
I think here's the thing, as I don't even necessarily disagree.
The traffic is horrible too. Like they need to figure out a different traffic plan too.
Well,
like,
they just need to get some people in there who actually, like, I don't know, do their fucking job. Anyway, that's a whole.
That is another thing at Martinsville. No one is concerned with doing their actual job at Martinsville Speedway.
No.
Whether it's track personnel, whether it's security, whether it's sheriffs, no one is concerned with doing their job. They're all concerned with being a dickhead and just stroking their authority. That's all they're concerned with. Doesn't matter what your view is on cops. Doesn't matter what your view is on authority. That's just what it is. Like. It's only there for whatever reason.
But hang on. The only thing I'm going to say is that this isn't like the first race we've had where the racing has been subpar. This is the second year in a row of this. And people still turned out in droves despite the amenities. I don't think the amenities matter to people who come to Martinsville because it doesn't. It's more like if you're in the area, which, by the way, the best TV market for NASCAR is Greensboro, an hour away from Martinsville. So
that's a very good point.
Yeah. So the people who want to go, that's like the perfect race to go to. It's in a valuable spot on the schedule. It's close. It's cheap. Everything about it's pretty cheap. You just have to deal with certain things. And a lot of these people are on the older side. They don't really care. So I don't even know if it would make a big difference having Martinsville be renovated. I would like to see it, but I don't think it would make a big difference. In fact, it might hurt because it might make ticket prices more and it might actually hurt ticket sales.
I think you don't have to do a whole Daytona Rising renovation. You got to spruce it up. You got to get somewhat with the times. Like Darlington's a great example. Darlington has made just small improvements every year to just modernize it a little bit, and it's still kept the charm that Darlington's always had. And that's the thing about Martinsville is it does have a lot to offer if you could just sprucing the place up. Like I said, it could be a championship race. It could be it. I think a lot of people would want that, but it's not. There's so many logistical and amenity issues with Martinsville that just prevent it from being better.
Yeah. And they've got to get traffic figured out because it's really like, as far as tracks that only have a couple ways in and out, it's really not that bad. The main road out there is 2 lanes per side.
Plenty wide enough. There's about 74 ways out of Martinsville.
Yeah. So it should not be that hard to get in and out of Martinsville.
It's not. It's not. Like I said, there are just serious logistical issues with Martinsville right now.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I was done.
So my race day experience yesterday, I got a late start. I was supposed to be there. My ETA said 1:15, and then you got the county sheriffs that don't care about directing traffic, directing all of the race traffic that is, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile from the racetrack onto 58 for some reason. Sending us all the way down 58, turning into some person's driveway and sending us back down the way we just came from on a 1-lane road to go over a bridge to get to the racetrack instead of letting us just use the 3-lane road that goes to the racetrack. That's an issue because when I found a way out of it and turned around and came back 15 minutes later, they had already packed everything up and left, which tells me they just don't want to do their job. Wow. And then nobody would park us properly. And I know we got there late. Maybe, stop letting cars into a parking lot if you run out of spots. That's an idea.
Crazy.
My biggest issue. I know, gosh. My biggest issue, and I understand the amenities are what they are. However, everyone that works at that racetrack, everyone that works for NASCAR has a little thing called a weather radar thing on their phone. And you can look at the forecast and see that it's supposed to be 85 degrees. Therefore, when you have a crowd that you even announced over social media was sold out, there is absolutely zero excuse for every concession stand in that racetrack to be out of water before the 1/3 mark of the race. That is a safety hazard, a serious safety hazard. Yeah. And I could not tell you how many people, especially elderly people, up under the grandstands, especially over in turn 4, it looked like a homeless shelter. There was people laid out, passed out. I saw people going in and out on stretchers all day from heat exhaustion. And guess what? The medics and the cops didn't have anything to give them because there was no water anywhere. I went to every concession stand at the fucking racetrack. I missed the entire stage 2 looking for water. I checked in and out with my tickets 3 times, going to different parts of the racetrack, never found a single bottle of water. That's a problem. It's a very easy problem to fix if they actually gave a damn, and they need to give a damn, because if they run into another race that's that hot and they have that problem again, there's going to be really big issues for them. So that's shout out to the cop that gave me water because I was walking around about to have a heat stroke and I told him that there's no water at this racetrack. He's a real one. Shout out to Seth for having some extra ones, but yeah, that's a problem. They need to fix that.
And also, this is not the first time we've had a mid to high 80s fall Martinsville race. So
not even
this has
close
happened
to the
before.
First time.
Yeah, it's not even close. Like, it's not like this doesn't happen. Like, if this was like, if this was a little farther north and it was like normally 35 degrees every year, and then one random year it was 80 degrees, I could kind of understand. This is not, it's not unusual.
No, it's, I mean, and the crazy thing to me, none of them ever ran out of beer, and I get it. We're at a NASCAR race. But when it comes down to it, water is more important. That may be unpopular, but it's true. If any of us graduated high school, it's like common knowledge. It's not that hard.
Buddy's a camel, so he doesn't.
Oh yeah, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It's not that hard for somebody to be like,
I'm going to my homeland next week in Phoenix.
It's not that hard for somebody to be like, oh, look at this. It's supposed to be 85 tomorrow. How many people are coming? How many waters do we have? Okay, maybe we should get in the truck and run down to the Walmart up the road and just buy a shit ton of cases, or find somewhere. You can fix that problem. It's not a hard problem to fix. Just fix it. That's a problem. That's a serious safety concern. So, especially when a lot of the fan base that goes there is elderly, specifically that racetrack, that's a huge problem. And I had a problem with it. So sorry for ranting about that, but I just think it's an issue.
Oh,
yeah, got tired, buddy. Tired.
Yeah,
buddy.
I'm sleepy, man.
This is what I get for spinning my headphones earlier when he was talking.
them hills of Martinsville got me sleepy. Okay. Let's get some positives. We've been awfully negative
shitting
here
on this race weekend.
Yeah. So Ryan Blaney wins the race.
I don't know who could have called that.
Dude, how many times is your pick gonna beat mine by one position?
I don't know. You picked Hamlin, did you not?
Yeah.
Yeah, you beat him by more than one position. So
okay, 1-2, fucking dickhead.
Who did I pick? Not that it matters. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah, you know why? Because it doesn't matter.
This is why I don't like you. I'm about to go find out.
Blaney wins the race. Definitely got some assistance from his old teammate Joey Logano. Dude was he was vintage Joey Logano yesterday. I mean, just wrecked the hell out of poor Ty Gibbs for nothing to do. Which
they've been beefing.
For what? When?
Apparently, like the last 6 weeks, according to Denny Hamlin.
What? That's crazy. Why is Joey Logano beefing with Ty Gibbs?
Because they're both running in the same spot, like 12th to 15th.
Oh, okay.
Chuck's just listening to last week's podcast.
Yeah.
What are we
not
talking
distracting
about?
At all.
Anyway, if you guys had listened to Actions Detrimental, because it's like the best piece of news source in the entire NASCAR space
it's
right
not.
now. Well, okay.
That's
Well,
debatable.
this week it has.
I just want to know who I picked. Dang it!
It's been helpful this week. Just say you picked Truex and just take an L like everyone else. We'll say you picked Eric Almirola, so you beat Buddy.
No,
Anyway.
I'll think of it. Just give me a minute.
Anyway, yeah, but apparently for like, I don't know, 6-7 weeks they've been beefing, and Ty's felt like he's gotten run over by Joey, so he started kind of roughing him up, and then Joey, I guess Ty kind of roughed him up earlier in that race, and Joey just said, "Fuck it, sending him," and he sent him.
Oh,
that is.
If that ain't calling a spade, I don't know what is. I mean, my God. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know what really sucks for me?
Huh?
That happened right in front of my seats, and I was walking up the steps, coming back from looking for water, and the whole thing just fills up with smoke as I'm coming up the steps, and I was like, "Huh, wonder what that's about."
I watched it happen right in front of me, obviously, and I was like, I was in the same boat y'all were a second ago. I was like, what the fuck? Why did he do that?
Yeah, I wasn't quite yeah.
Still wasn't smart.
I know my mom wasn't.
The whole field.
I know my mom was not a happy camper there but
yeah.
Old Suarez went crab walking down the front straightaway after that one.
Just like Chuck, I am now out of water.
Okay.
Okay, buddy. Yeah, you're not buddy yourself.
Yeah, get it right.
Whatever.
So anyway, minus that, I can't think of really much else that happened in this race.
Carson Hocevar wrecked the crap out of Ty Gibbs.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
I did not know that.
I was at the race and I didn't know that. I never figured out who spun Ty the second time.
Yeah, I kept looking at the replay and like I couldn't, dude. I can't did they make the board smaller? I used to be able to see it. Like I know my eyes aren't what they necessarily used to be, but like I can't see anything on the board anymore.
Smallest track on the circuit, and you can't see a video board for save your life.
Well, it's like they got nothing out. I'm pointing out in turn 3. There's like nothing there except for like 3 rows of seats. Fucking move that shit and put a video board there.
Crazy concept.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Except they just put a new video board in there 15 years ago.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely too soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know Carson. I didn't know Hocevar was the one who wrecked Ty the second time.
Carson Hocevar.
Oh,
hey, hold on. Let me.
I didn't have to hear that this week.
Sundress of the damn week material. I called the fucking pace car breaking down.
Did you?
Yeah, you
did.
45 minutes before the pace car breaks, I texted both of them. I said, dude, it sounds like the pace car's blowing up.
Well, you didn't get the reason right.
I didn't get the reason right. I knew something was wrong with the pace car.
Still hilarious.
I could tell something was wrong with the pace car. And it was the Leonardo DiCaprio meme if I've ever seen one. I saw the pace car stop. I was like,
so it stopped in like the perfect spot where like the video board, like the only spot on the track I can't see because like the video board's right there. So I saw them come off too, and then the safety truck picked them up, or the sweeper truck picks them up, and I'm like, the fuck,
dude! It was I could not believe
confused.
I could not believe my eyes that happened, dude. It was like ISIS when they actually blow something up. Like,
okay.
My God,
it was crazy, dude. I was losing it.
I just think what I think is funny is the amount of people I saw going, do they have a backup pace car? Dumbasses. Every single race at the start,
like 6.
Well, every single race before the start of the race, there are 2 pace cars out there on the track. Like, have you ever watched a race? They have at least 2. Like,
dude, most people actually haven't watched the race before.
Yeah, I'm very aware of that. But
okay, this is going to sound really dumb for me to ask, considering I should know this.
There are no stupid questions.
Yes, the pace car does have lights.
No. Why is there 2 of them at the start of the race?
Because they used to get bottlenecked when they were leaving pit road and then getting formed back up.
And also
Okay.
it makes it you can get a more accurate read on your
Okay. I
attack.
kind of figured it was that one. I've been ever since I was a little kid, I've always wondered why and I've never asked. So
Yeah.
now I know.
Well, I'm glad you decided to ask and make yourself look stupid on the largest podcast on this YouTube channel.
Yeah.
The largest podcast on this YouTube
tough
channel.
competition, man.
Yeah.
I said we weren't starting the mental health pod till Wednesday.
We announced a
okay.
competing podcast and then it never happened. So.
Yeah. DW says don't beat yourself. So
Exactly.
don't do that. Anyway, finally, Ryan Blaney did win this race.
He did.
It was about time.
Yeah.
He's been trying to win a Martinsville race forever.
Well, I mean, anyone who enters the race is trying to win the race. So
He walked right into that one.
am I wrong, buddy?
I mean, you could just go ahead, Seth. You got it. You go. You run the rest of the show. I'm gonna sit here, and if I think I have
He is
anything to
this
add,
close to terminating your weekly contract that resets tomorrow.
yeah.
I run the show. Let's be real here. Like, it wouldn't happen. All right. Yeah, no.
No, go ahead, Seth. You got it, buddy.
I don't have a part
Your
in this.
buddy.
I can I can say that one actually is on y'all. Y'all two run the show. I'm just here.
All right, Chuck. So anyway, Ryan
Blaney
Blaney,
did win.
ever since he got into a cup car at Martinsville, has been trying to win one of these because that's how that works.
As have the other 39 cars.
As have they. And he finally did one. He did win one. And I don't want to take credit for picking him because I've been picking him for like 6 years now. So I'm not going to take credit for it. It was one of those things that I just did and it was going to happen at some point. That's why I kept doing it. It's kind of like picking Brad Keselowski for the Daytona 500 or Kyle Busch. Like it's bound to happen someday in theory. So I am glad it finally happened. My brother is a huge Ryan Blaney fan, and he's just watched him just give away these Martinsville races for years now. And so he finally got one, and we finally got a buddy pulley back. Have you recovered from, I don't know, whatever the fuck that was?
I had to get me a fucking Dale juice.
Maybe had to get him a Dale juice.
Yeah, maybe I can wake up enough to deal with this bull crap.
For what it's worth, Seth did a pretty damn good job.
What'd he say?
You'll be able to hear it later on the show.
Yeah.
Oh,
Why would I tell you?
Why would I listen?
That's a great point. You know there are other podcasts, right?
Yeah, right. What?
Direct quote. Shout out to Brad.
Shout outs.
Probably is listening to this, so we appreciate you, Brad.
The question I have is why, but
yeah. Seth
exactly.
Brad says to Seth, he goes, yeah, avid listener. And Seth goes, why? Salesman of the fucking year. I tell you what.
On a serious note, we do appreciate you. And
shout out to Brad
listening.
because he got to see his favorite driver win in just his third race ever. And it only took me quite a few. Took my mom about 80. I don't know how long it took
Blaney
you.
fan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, cool. I didn't realize that in the moment. I wish I had.
Yeah. But anyway.
Doesn't hurt, or it for the record, you were wearing a Dale Jr. shirt. That's why I didn't notice. So anyway.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
I really didn't think Blaney was going to get there at first, and I was sitting there.
I didn't think he was either.
I thought Eric Almirola was about to win this race, and I was like, are you kidding me? He's about to lap Harvick.
Back to the video board. Back to the video board. The thing that sucked so much is I'm trying to figure out in my head if Blaney can get there, and I don't know if there's 20 laps to go or 100 laps to go. I have no clue. I'm like, I feel like we're coming up on the last 30. I think, like, I couldn't see anything. Anyway, Martinsville, get you a bigger fucking video board or a couple. It's not that hard. Okay, continue.
Okay, so
Sorry.
it was right before Buddy texts this. Abby's like mad because she's a Harvick fan and he was doing so good. She just wanted to see him run good. She didn't care if he won. She wanted to win, but she just wanted to see him do good. And now he's getting lapped. And she goes, "So who's leading?" And she types it out. We couldn't really hear each other. And I don't want to scream in her ear because she gets annoyed. Anyway, I type out and I'm just watching her reaction. I said, "Eric Almirola, ... And she's just looking at me. And I said, "The 10 car." And then I'm waiting. And then I said, "Who announced his retirement yesterday?" And she starts giving me this evil eye. And I'm like, "Who also happens to be Kevin's teammate." And all I could see, I could read the lips. She says, "Fuck that guy." And I was like, well then. So we're sitting there mad. And about 3 minutes later, Buddy texts the group chat and says, "Eric Almirola is going to win this fucking race." That motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Blaney
I think
started catching him like a bat out of hell.
I think honestly you're being nice because I definitely didn't say those exact words.
Nah, you didn't. But we're not going to repeat the exact words.
No shit. That's why I said what I said. Yeah, no, I was going to be thoroughly upset if Eric Almirola won this race. I don't care about any biases that I'm showing. I just don't care. If he would have won this race, I would have not been on the show this week. I might have canceled my flight to Phoenix. I would have been that pissed off that dude who's run about 750,000 fucking races and won 3 of them, 2 of them on dubious circumstances, and he gets to win a race in his final year that he announced 3.5 hours before the race, it seemed like, after he already tried to retire once, but everybody just had to have him back. I would have been slightly upset if he would have won the race, yes.
What I love is that Almirola gets out of the car and he's like, "Yep, all I did today was prove that I'm not retiring because I don't got it anymore." I'm like, when did you have it?
He's not wrong. He never had it.
Yeah, I'm like, my guy, it's not like you were like a weekly contender. You had a great year in 2018 for your standards. And
yeah.
What else? Like mid, absolute. The definition, like if you look up mid in the dictionary, it's got Eric Almirola's face and a fucking Smithfield logo right next to it. Like,
yeah,
I don't get it. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm glad he waited until like the end of the season to announce it, so like we didn't have to go through everyone pretending that Eric Almirola was just like great race car driver for 36 weeks.
Yeah.
The weird thing is like the 3 races he's won are so odd. Like he won the Daytona race because it rained. He won the Talladega race that everybody remembers. The Stewart-Haas cars were on a different planet from the rest of the field, and then the rest of them ran out of gas on the last lap, and he didn't. And then he won the Loudon race, and he wouldn't have won that had NASCAR not called it for darkness 10 laps early because Bell caught him on the last lap. So, like,
Fine caught him. I don't remember him being that close.
He was there.
Are we really about to talk about New Hampshire from 2 years ago?
He was there.
It's the last time Eric Almirola was relevant. So
exactly.
Long story short, it was like a couple tenths, and there should have been 12 laps left. Bell was gonna get him.
Imagine knowing this information about an Eric Almirola win.
I remember I was just mad because of who didn't win.
Chuck, shut up.
It's okay, Chuck. I get upset about random shit too. And so does Buddy, quite frankly. You are really judgmental of people getting upset about random shit from a long time ago.
We're an hour into this fucking podcast and we haven't even talked about
what have we not talked about?
The fucking championships that's about to happen next week or this week.
That's mildly important, I guess. Oh yeah. It is Halloween today. So we're allowed.
I guess that is today.
So we're allowed leeway. That is what my determination is.
Yeah. I don't know why Buddy's on the fun police train tonight.
Buddy has always come somewhat on the fun police train. somewhat. It's
Okay. Huh?
never mind.
Okay.
I was gonna make a joke, but I didn't think it'd be very funny. So we're just
No.
gonna move on.
Sorry, I'm having a, it's, been a rough couple weeks there, pending, retirement. Anyway, no, I mean, so in all seriousness, championship 4 obviously set. Byron, Blaney, Bell, and who's the fourth one?
Larson.
Oh shit! Yeah, him. Let's talk about Blaney for a minute. So Kyle Petty called him.
What the fuck does Kyle Petty got to do with this?
Well, I'll tell you. He
Well,
called
I'll
him
tell you, son.
about the equivalent of Kasey Kahne. What was that, last year or the year before?
That was this year.
That was like in April.
Oh, okay. Can we establish that he wasn't wrong?
Yeah, 100%.
Just making sure that we're all, sane human beings.
Having a 6-week stretch where he's been really good does not change the fact that before that, he was exactly like Kasey Kahne.
Yeah.
And
still is.
I wouldn't say that he's not right now, because Kasey Kahne had these sort of stretches too.
2012.
Yeah. 2012, 2006. Yeah. He doesn't sit and take away anything from Blaney. I mean, Blaney's done a hell of a job when he's done what he needed to do to make it.
He's finally had a clutch bone in his body.
Yeah, and honestly, and he didn't even need it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna. There's a lot of people pinning him as a favorite, but he's definitely got more of a shot than I think maybe we would have given him a couple months ago.
Yeah. I think
that's because none of us had him in the Final Four a couple months ago. So yeah, he's got a much better shot now.
I'll give you that one,
that's
Chuck.
Fair. But I mean, I think if you want to peg Ryan Blaney as the favorite, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think recent track record at Phoenix. Yeah. I mean, the recent track record at Phoenix speaks for itself. Their recent performance at short track speaks for itself. The fact that they're hot right now speaks for itself. I think it's totally fair to bet on Blaney.
Chuck?
They were, in fact, the fastest car in both races there last year. So, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes and does exactly what Logano did last year.
Yeah.
I'm not. I would like to say that Kyle Petty said that about Ryan Blaney, and then after Talladega, which of all places, Talladega, Kyle Petty said, if this version of Ryan Blaney shows up for the rest of the year, nobody's beating him. So Kyle Petty can't really pick sides on Ryan Blaney. And of all the places to say that about, he said it after Talladega. It's just another Kyle Petty moment, I guess. I don't have much else on Blaney, though.
I think
Woo, Blaney. Congrats, Blaney. Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting if he won the championship, because we've talked to all these past 2 years since we had the next gen car about how bad the Fords have been, and they would have won both the next gen championships.
Yeah, but Chevy's won both the manufacturers championships. I think that says more about the actual manufacturer performance.
Yeah, but
nobody looks at
smoke
that,
and mirrors. Yeah. But no, I mean, it's, we talked about Ryan not being clutch at all. And I mean, it's those deals, man, that if he could, that he's made the round of 8 however many times and just never has been able to get there. He's had plenty of opportunities, and got to think he's got to capitalize, because you never know when he's going to come back. Now, of course, that said, he'll be back next year, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're more inclined to. I don't think there's any additional pressure based off of what might or might not happen in the future.
That's true.
Yeah, I feel like it's more just like, it's right there. We just have to beat 3 guys. I mean, realistically, you have to win the race, but You just have to beat 3 guys. You've done that this year.
This is the Blaney that we've been waiting for, I
Yeah.
guess, in a sense. The other 3, let's start out with Byron. I'll give the man credit. He drove a hell of a race at Martinsville given the circumstances. They were terrible. And bro was allegedly about to pass out, about completely just black out in the car. And he said, I will do that before I give up. And I've said a lot of shit about William Byron. I'll tip my cap to that.
Yeah. He's
okay,
got
cool.
I mean, I don't even know what to say about Byron. They're not going to be the fastest car. I feel like the likelihood of that is incredibly low, especially since they pointed in and like they don't have any head start. And so I feel like the likelihood of them being the slowest is pretty high. That's not going to hurt their chances of actually winning the championship.
Yeah, Larson did that in 21. But here's my rebuttal for Byron being the slowest car. This is his normal Exalta car, right? See, I want everybody to look right here, right there. Everybody see those colors?
For the audio listeners, Chuck is showing the picture of the current regular Exalta car from Atlanta, and it has a very colorful front bumper.
And for people watching, I'll give a description in a second. For people watching, that is this week's. Does anybody see a difference? Anybody? Yeah, that front bumper, for those of you listening, is black. Solid black. So he's either going to be the slowest car or he's going to be the fastest car, and it's not going to be close. That's all I'm going to say about whatever that is. So good for William Byron, though. That's kind of cool. The I'm not giving up thing. That is not William Byron is not the guy I would have expected to hear that from. No offense, William Byron, but I thought they were going to blow it. Honestly, I was in line for hot dogs.
Certainly looked like it there for a minute.
Well, I had no clue what the points were, and my buddy Hunter is a Byron fan, and every time he goes to the track, his guys, whether it's truck, Xfinity, or Cup, they always wreck or something stupid happens. So I'm in line, and at this point, I'm thinking Byron's like in the clear. I even told him all Byron has to do is like finish the race, and he's in. And I'm in line, and it says Denny's +1, and I was like, oh. And I'm like, where's he at? And I see he's in 20th, Byron is. And I was like, oh, they're going to choke. And they almost did.
Didn't expect Hamlin to get 19 stage points, I guess.
Well, I don't know why they didn't. But yeah, now they have this funky looking thing loaded up to go to, I almost said Richmond, Phoenix. And so
Richmond,
we will see how it goes for him.
Former NASCAR championship hosting racetrack, Richmond International Raceway.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, Byron, he hasn't been the fastest car all year.
Yeah.
Like, we've said it. Let's be clear. It's not, he hasn't been that at all. So I think it shouldn't come as a shock that you said he's not going to be the fastest car. I don't think he's going to be the slowest, though. I think honestly, I think Christopher Bell's probably going to be the slowest.
I agree.
Just because, I mean, just judging by how they've run last year at this track, spring here, like he hasn't had the speed. I picked him to be my champion last year when it came down to it, and they just didn't have it. Now, I mean, things change. A lot of things change. I think Christopher Bell, I think for the health of the sport, it'd be good for Christopher Bell to win the championship. I think because he and Kyle Larson are so similar. Seth and I, you talked about this the other night. They are, I think, what did I compare him to? The Joker telling Batman,
we're
not so different, you and I. I don't know which one's the villain, which one's the hero in this instance. That I guess that depends on what T-shirt you're wearing, but they both come from similar backgrounds. Larson obviously is a lot more flashy than Bell is. Bell was an answer Toyota was looking for to Kyle Larson, and I think it's the makings of a rivalry that will last, the next at least decade and a half. That I think would be good for the sport is these two going head to head. Because I mean, we talk about it. Christopher Bell spins out a lot. Kyle Larson does equally, questionable moves on the racetrack, and I think honestly, maybe we need to give Bell his dues a little bit more. Whether this is his year or not, I think this is a rivalry that's in the making.
Yeah.
It is a shame Joe Gibbs doesn't let him get behind the wheel of a sprint car still.
Yep.
What I'll say about that, because he can wheel a sprint car. And I don't know how many people know this, but the man Kyle Larson himself has said this. Christopher Bell is a better dirt racer than Kyle Larson. Now, whether or not you want to believe it is up to you, but
yeah, I don't believe it. But
if you the fact is there, the only vehicle on dirt that they have equal time in, Christopher Bell heads up beats him in. He is a damn good race car driver. And he gets a lot of crap because he drives for Joe Gibbs Racing. And Joe does a terrible job of marketing what Christopher Bell is because he doesn't let him go do what would make him so popular. And I don't think, especially a younger guy, I think it'd be great for the sport if he wins. Now, do I think they're going to have the speed? Probably not. JGR hasn't had it really at Phoenix with this car. Now, every time I've said that so far this year, I've looked like an ass. So here's your
join the club.
Here's your future 2023 Christopher Bell champion statement right here, I guess, because I think he's going to be the slowest car there.
I think also he's stunted Christopher Bell a little bit. Like, we've seen how good he's been in the past couple of years. How good would he be if he's running dirt all the time?
Oh, yeah.
William Byron started running more late model races last year. And all of a sudden, William Byron has, began to reach the potential that we thought William Byron had reached.
Yep. 100%.
It's simple. I mean, especially with the limited practice, more track time equals better results. There's plenty of examples of this being true. Kyle Busch preaches it all the time. So, I mean, it's something that, Joe may need to take a look at because, I mean, especially if Bell gets beat, because, there's proof is in the pudding. And he's not getting the resources or the allowance he needs to reach his full potential.
And even if you want to bring up like Alex Bowman getting hurt this year or whatever, like, I feel like the benefit outweighs that negative. I think it just does. So
Chase Elliott got hurt on a snowboard. You can get hit. You can get hurt walking into your bathroom. Stuff happens.
Yeah.
For Bell, the other thing I think Joe needs to evaluate is if Bell is their future. He is their guy, their cornerstone.
He's not.
Man. Well, there's that other guy that drives the 54 that Joe kind of sits next to at Thanksgiving. But Bell, whether they like it or not, he's their A guy for the future. Doesn't have the last name, but he is. He's also publicly said that not being able to run dirt, he's kind of miserable. I wouldn't want my best driver that is the future of my team publicly saying that and then also calling me out on the fact that my son that just passed away is the only reason that he got to race dirt. Because that happened earlier this year when Bell said on David Gravel's podcast, yeah, Coy used to let me run dirt. I used to just go ask him about it, and he would talk to Joe, but now Joe just says no.
Yeah.
That is going to run Christopher Bell away, especially if he keeps getting to this point and they don't win this year. And then he's like, all right, well, I'm still myself. I can find this success elsewhere.
Where is he going to go?
Well,
I'm sure
his contract, if I'm not mistaken, ends the same year as the guy that drives the 48 car.
Can Hendrick
changing the subject?
Hang on, can Hendrick survive with another A-list guy? I think that's too many cooks in the kitchen.
Well, they finished 1, 2, 3 in points back in
1, 2, 3, not 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well,
this is true.
I'll let you
look.
Pick.
Okay,
you're telling me that would immediately make Chase Elliott the worst driver at Hendrick Motorsports.
Okay, I'm glad you said it. I was about to say you're about to run in the same situation we had back in 2009. Your main moneymaker is not in your top 75 percentile of best drivers.
The rebuttal to the point of where would he go? What team wouldn't make room for Christopher Bell?
Exactly.
That's fair.
Anybody would, except the Hendrick is the only thing where it's like, okay, we got 3 or 4 guys that like we can't afford another one, but anybody else is making room for that guy.
Yeah. And then the last one, what was his name?
I can't remember.
He's named after some car.
Some Miata.
The greatest race car driver in the world.
Shane Van Gisbergen. Oh.
No. Kyle Larson. I mean, what do we say?
Kyle Larson has never won a race that Shane Van Gisbergen entered, so
we don't even know what the real NASCAR playoffs are because Shane won a race and he wasn't awarded his spot. So
yeah,
this is all a fraud.
This is all a fraud. Like
this is a scam. Whoever wins on Sunday deserves to have an asterisk next to it because Shane wasn't in America to whoop their ass.
By the way, Charles, it's pronounced asterisk.
Whatever.
Okay, I'm just letting you know.
Thanks.
Welcome to the show, Chase.
You sound like a hockey. Like a hockey ass cracker when you say that shit.
How do you say it? This is English. Asterisk. There's not an S in that word. What?
There is at the beginning.
Yeah, Kyle Larson. I think he's the favorite going into Phoenix.
You can
There's
say
a fucking S before the K, asshole.
Asterisk.
That's what I said.
No, you said asterisk.
No, that's
no, he didn't. He said asterisk.
100%.
No,
asterisk? He said asterisk. None of y'all know what the fuck you're saying.
No, that's not what I said.
Okay, we're all idiots.
I can't say it twice, but I know what I said.
Okay, anyway. Yeah. Kyle Larson, I'm sure you guys love to talk about him.
Why would we do that?
Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Shout out to Buddy for like blowing my identity, but it's okay.
Well,
I'm not big time yet, so it doesn't matter.
No one had to know, but you had to say it, so all 12 of our viewers could.
I know, right? Somebody's gonna turn it in.
Anyway.
Oh well.
Okay, all right, cool. Kyle Larson might win next week. Who gives a shit?
He might not. I don't
care.
I'm
honestly,
trying really hard not to care. Like that's essentially how I'm putting it.
I normally don't do this very often, whether anybody knows who my favorite driver is or not, because in the media stuff, I'm not supposed to do this, but I am going to put the fan hat on for a second. And I was thinking about it the other day, talking to my grandmother, because she is also a Kyle Larson fan. And I was like, when I went there in 2021, I drove out there. So and he won at Texas. So I knew for like a month he was in. And I had that whole trip for a week to ride in the truck all day and have nothing to do but think about, man, I'm going all the way out here. I really hope he wins. I haven't put a single thought into it since Vegas. Like, I kind of forgot he's racing for a championship, if I'm being honest, until it comes up. Like, I don't know. I'm not really expecting anything at all. So that's really all I got. I'm waiting on Byron's got whatever the hell that car is. I'm waiting on the inverted all white HendrickCars.com car.
Is it going to be inverted or all white? Pick one.
What? I don't know. Inverted. Okay, smart ass. Inverted with the inverted thing. You see that thing behind you? Make the white blue and the blue white.
Okay. That's not all white. Okay, I got you. Gotcha.
Seth would have nothing to say on this podcast if it wasn't making all of us look like fucking assholes.
They could just go out there with the test car if it makes you happy.
That would make me happy, actually.
Okay.
Well, I couldn't be happy. Happy's in Buddy's house right now.
Shut up. God. You know what? I'm with Buddy on this one, Seth. You got it.
All right, that's fine. So, talking about Kyle Larson, he's okay. I think in an honest sense, he should be, in theory, putting my analytic hat on, he should be the favorite because they did go out and lead 201 laps in the spring. They did do that, and they've had 2 extra weeks to prepare that car and not really worry about anything else. So in theory, there should be nothing they can do other than make the spring car that led 200 laps even better. So Kyle Larson should be the favorite. Am I saying that he is? I'm not saying anything. I don't do that. It's not a thing I do. My co-hosts are now rejoining me in their own ways and in their own time. And I respect that out of them. And Buddy will not put his headphones on for some reason. I believe it's because he doesn't like listening to me talk. And that's okay. I understand that. I don't like listening to me talk either. But
how do you edit the show then?
Oh, it's just painful. It's not fun. I go, damn, these 2 are good. Oh God, that guy needs to shut up. He's
You said I'm good. That's your first problem.
Yeah, look, I never said I had an eye for talent. Okay. I definitely don't. I don't know anything. Buddy, could you please rejoin the podcast and put your headphones back on?
Well, while we wait on him.
No? I'm here.
You're here. Are you here?
I'm not gonna put the fan hat on very often just because of the obvious. And I don't use bias. It's just stupid, but I don't use bias in whatever I do. Whatever. Taking the fan hat off. They were really, really good on the short run in the spring. And it just so happened that led to them leading over 200 laps. Yeah. And they, despite the fact that they led 200 laps, they weren't that great on the long run. And when they finally had a chance to get exposed for it, Harvick did at the end of the race.
Yeah.
In last year's fall race, it was the exact opposite. They were terrible on the short run. And it ultimately cost them a chance to beat Joey for the owner's title because they ran top 3 for a good portion of the race behind the 2 Penske cars. And they had a great long run car, but they got caught out on a short run and it screwed them. So it'll all depend on how the race plays out and what they show up with. Because there's no way of knowing how the race is going to play out. And the ideal situation is you find something in the middle. Or you don't even really want to find something in the middle because in the middle is just mid on both ends. But you have to maximize where you think your strengths are going to be. And I really think it should be for all 4 of those guys, really. You should be trying to maximize on the long run without hurting the short run too much. Because it's going to come down to track position and it's going to come down to long runs. Because there's not going to be many yellows, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the likelihood of an assortment of yellows is incredibly low. Now, I mean, Harrison Burton is still in the race, so anything can happen.
Now, Buddy's definitely never coming back. He's never coming back. We've lost Buddy forever now.
But yeah, the point still stands. He's in the race, so yeah, obviously.
Lost Buddy forever.
Yep. So I don't know. I think you go for a long run car. If it was the old Homestead finale, you kind of shoot for a short run car. But you in this race we've seen. I mean, 21 was kind of ended on a short run, but other than that,
that was the outlier.
I mean, there's only been 3 though, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I guess not really an outlier when you have 3 examples. But do we want to talk about the other 2 series any really quickly at all?
I think
give a championship pick for all of them.
Okay.
Who's in the truck Final Four?
Hocevar,
Heim, Enfinger, and Rhodes.
Yeah.
Hey, Hocevar.
Oh, we're doing that now? Okay.
Might as well.
Grant, just for the sentimental GMS is leaving. My grandfather worked there for a number of years, so hope they get it.
Corey Heim's going to win. He's been the best truck all year. He's been the fastest truck all year. He's flown under the radar the entire year, and no one's talking about how good he's been. So Corey Heim's going to go out, and he's going to probably lead. I don't know how long the truck race is, 150 laps. He's probably going to lead at least 120 of them and win the race.
My rebuttal to you is that the best truck all year the last 2 years, well, every year since they've been to Phoenix has not won. So I was there in 21. I was there in 21 and everybody had already signed the check to John Hunter, and then he wrecked on lap 2 and everybody was like, oh God, what do we do? Yeah.
Well, speaking of John Hunter, do you think he's going to do things? Think he's going to piss it away again in the Xfinity?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Absolutely. God, it's Sam, John Hunter, Justin, and who's the fourth? Cole. I'll take Justin. He is so good at Phoenix. To have never won how many? It's like this is like the 7th time he's made the Final Four, right? I saw a crazy set. It's some crazy number. It's like 6 or 7.
I don't remember how many it is.
So good at Phoenix. They are. It's kind of that thing. They're bound to win one eventually, and I think this is the year because the clock's ticking. No pun intended, since he just won one, but time is running out for Justin Allgaier to win a championship. Not that Junior won't have him back for as long as he wants to be back, but
eventually the flame runs out.
Yeah.
How old is he?
I'll find that out here in a second, but I think he knows.
Well, I mean, he said it.
So,
I think you got to go look at
37.
Oh,
I think you got to look at last year.
But he's also a family man. And, I think, honestly, if he wins it this year, he'll probably run next year and might be done. Like, he really wants to win one of these, and he's been so close.
I think as long as he wins, he's going to keep going, or as long as he keeps winning. I think you go look at last year, 54 car was beyond fast. And I think the 20 is going to be the same. I think John Hunter's going to, barring any unforeseen circumstances, which it's NASCAR, I think the 20 is going to be lights out fast, and they're going to have to go catch him.
Just to be different, I'm going to take Sam.
I wish it would be Sam. I think that'd be great. I think Sam's probably, I think as fast as Justin is, I think Sam, if Sam can keep his wheels under him, I think he's probably the most, John Hunter's biggest competition. Cole Custer, I think also you can make a case for him, just how fast the SHR cars have been past 3-4 weeks.
It should be a good battle between the 4 of them. It's pretty evenly matched, I think. And Ty had the best car last year, but Noah had the best car in the long runs, and he almost got there. And that's the same equipment that 2 of those guys are this year. And I think having 3 cars in last year probably hurt them more than it helped them. in my opinion. Because you got to take all your resources. Not that they don't have them, but you got to take all your time and effort, and you got to put it into 3 cars instead of 2 or 1. And so having just 2, I don't know. I don't think John Hunter's he's obviously they're fast, but I don't think they've been what they were earlier this year or this time last year for the last month and a half. He kind of lucked into that win at Texas when Parker and Justin about wiped each other out. And
I mean, didn't we kind of feel that way about Ty Gibbs at the end of last season?
Until he dumped Brandon Jones.
Well, yeah. I mean, the fact that it took that to win that race, and then I don't know, he wasn't terribly impressive throughout the playoffs. I mean, they made it through, obviously, but
I think how long has John Hunter known he's going to Phoenix, or known he's probably going to Phoenix?
I'm pretty sure Ty won his way into Phoenix before Martinsville last year, though. Yeah, so I think that was the deal. Like, he was already locked in. Yeah. Why in the world would you wreck your team?
Oh, no, he didn't win because he pointed his way in, He locked his way in on points earlier in that race.
Either way, it was something stupid. Like, why would you wrek your teamate when you're already locked in and he needs to win?
It happened a year ago.
Yeah, we know, but
Cup. Who are we picking?
I don't want to do it. But I gotta do it work 2 years ago. So
okay, I'll say it.
Kyle the fuck Larson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who I'm picking.
I'm picking. Hold on. I gotta get some clarification on our rules and the picks. Because
we can all pick the same guy and
no. Oh. Do I get double points if I pick the winner and the champion?
Sure.
Okay. Because Kevin Harvick's going to win this race.
Okay. I was going to say that too.
Yeah. Well, that's why I went first.
Well, you're not running for points, so it's okay.
First. Kevin Harvick, I got 826 races, 825 down, 1 to go. I got one more chance to pick Kevin Harvick to win a race. He's going to win Phoenix. It's going to be one of the greatest stories in NASCAR history. I mean, I don't believe in karma. I don't believe in luck. I don't believe in superstition. So I got one more chance to be confident in Kevin Harvick. So it's going to go all the top.
All right.
Chuck? Who's your championship pick?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, who was it?
Kyle Larson. That's what he said.
Oh, well, just to be different. That thing, whatever that black front bumper is, I think it's going to be fast. So I'm picking William Byron. Yeah.
But, yeah, Sundress is dumbass for Martinsville.
Sundress, I went with Sheldon Creed. Just fuck RCR in general. So go Sheldon.
Chuck.
I don't have a sundress. This entire weekend pissed me off. The cop that gave me a water bottle.
There you go.
There we go. It's a good one. Let's see. I'm gonna go with yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of I got to hang out and met a lot of good people this weekend. So just race fans in general. Let me go with them because I met a lot of good ones this weekend. So I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, dumbass. We went with RCR in general, specifically Richard Childress and Andy Petrie, and also Austin Hill. They're all dumbasses, and I don't really like any of them, to be completely honest. So, yeah, there you go. Charles.
So, I had plenty of dumbasses this weekend, but I think I've hit on all of them. The water thing, Brian Murphy saying late models suck at Martinsville and saying this race was good. So I'm gonna go with Eddie Gossage. Did anybody see what his tweet was about Denny Hamlin?
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna read this for anybody that hasn't heard it. Why can't Denny Hamlin win a NASCAR title? He's won 51 races, 3 Daytona 500s, a Coke 600, but never a championship. Inside scoop. Folks in the garage question his focus and his intelligence, makes emotional decisions, losing points, and distracted by too many non-competition items. Talented but ... Eddie, your track is hands down the worst fucking track in NASCAR.
Well,
shut up and fix it. Shut up. I don't care. He ruined it. He ruined it.
Hang on. That's totally irrelevant.
That is also irrelevant.
Show me a point this round of 8 that Denny Hamlin lost through emotional decisions. I wouldn't call your car braking at Homestead an emotional decision. I wouldn't call scoring 19 stage points and finishing 3rd or 4th at Martinsville an emotional decision. So I don't see the logic there. The whole Denny choked, especially like this year, and even last year, it was a Hail Melon away from making the Final Four last year. And then this year, they just broke at Homestead. Otherwise, they make it. So
Eddie Gossage
I just
had
a shit on Texas, but yeah, what an idiot.
Yeah.
What a dumbass.
Eddie Gossage has had a hard on for hating Denny Hamlin ever since the Martinsville thing with Chase Elliott a couple of years ago, and renaming his entire Victory Lane or garage or something after Chase Elliott after that. So Eddie Gossage has never done anything, never said anything smart that I can remember. So I'm not shocked.
But they got Big Haas.
Yeah.
That's
dumbass. Hard to pick one that we haven't already said. I don't know that I've ever done this before. I'm gonna pick NASCAR.
Taking a page out of the old Dolbowski handbook.
I think I'm gonna pick NASCAR for not calling John Hunter on blatantly changing lanes before the start finish line. I mean, it was so blatant. Like, I don't understand how this is okay for some people and not. It is literally restart violations only get called on people in the back half of the field. Yeah. It rules for thee and not for me. Like, I mean, and they know it. They know they're not going to get called, and we're going to the number one track on the schedule where this happens all the time. Like, how many, Seth, you and I are going to be sitting, right in the dog leg. How many restart violations are we going to see that are going to get called?
Yeah.
Like, thank you. Yeah. So it's just, it's dumb. And I can't wait for that to be a topic of conversation next week.
That's fair.
Yep. But yeah, Seth and I are going to Phoenix next week.
I'll be at World Finals all week in Caraway on Saturday. Watch the car store.
Fun. I've never seen a cactus before, so I kind of want to see a cactus.
They hurt.
Well, he didn't say he's gonna touch one. He just said he's gonna see it.
I'm just saying they hurt. Long story.
I kind of do want to touch one.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I don't.
Oh, you don't. No, you will never recover, and neither will your face. Don't do that.
I'm not gonna kiss it. What the fuck?
He said lick it.
Oh, I'm not gonna lick it. No.
Oh, I was trying to push you in the direction of licking the cactus.
Oh no, I just figured this weekend's gonna be painful enough as it is, so might as well max it out.
They're cool, but that is a different kind of pain you do not want to experience. I've experienced it.
Why were you touching a cactus, Chuck?
Do we want that story time on the podcast or no?
No.
Can we make it the short
We've
version?
had enough irrelevant story times on this podcast.
Again, you guys realize there are other podcasts, right?
Yeah. If you've made it this far, you are like an A-tier human being.
Yeah, I mean, hell, I barely made it this far.
He's given up on us. He's so glad that the season ends next weekend.
Yeah. No, I'm really not.
I was about
Well,
to say,
for other reasons, he's not. But he's like, well, at least I don't have to deal with them.
Yeah,
every,
I mean,
week.
let's talk about it. The elephant in the room is it's Kevin Harvick's last race this weekend.
yep.
He's gonna win.
How to
I'm
feel
telling
about
you
it.
Why is everybody so
Don't-
up in arms about the Harvick beer car? Like, it's cool.
I don't
Why is
know.
everybody so mad about it?
Yeah. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, called that shit. By the way,
Yes, Seth did call it.
Like, what do you want him to do? Some dumb chrome car like Gordon and Johnson did? That was dumb. The only other option they could have gone with is kind of like what Tony did, but Bush wanted to do something. So it's cool. They just slapped his name on there instead. Thank God, because how awful would it be for him to retire in the Bush brothers car? That wasn't funny, but
that would have been way funnier if it actually
Okay.
said Bush Brothers.
Okay.
that's
So
what
anyway.
they should do. A
Okay.
Hunt Brothers Bush combination. Make it the Bush brothers car.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah,
Why do you let
no.
me talk?
Yeah, no, I think obviously if you haven't seen it, it got leaked on Twitter that he's running the Harvick beer car again. I think it's cool. I think, I have to imagine they're gonna sell cans for it, so that's gonna be awesome. Yeah. I don't know how this is supposed to feel, but it sucks.
Yeah.
We're not well over here. But we'll get into the all that good stuff. I guess next week we'll have a good cry about it. But yeah, it's
Abby experienced hers at Martinsville since we're not going to Phoenix, and she was in fact very sad.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Abby's also only been a fan for like a year and a half, so like it's not quite the same.
it's not quite the same, but I am proud of her for like being this far into it in a year and a half. Like she actually cares. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter how long you've been a fan. I mean, it's still speaks volumes to what Kevin's done for the sport. And here we are. It's real weird.
And I think
guess
will continue as a commentator and analyst. I think it will
And-
continue in a way.
And hopefully part-time car store driver.
I would
that'd be-
imagine.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. I don't know. One more. I don't know what else to say. One more. That wins, finishes 15th. Doesn't change really anything. I mean, it'd all just be gravy if it did happen. But
Yeah.
I'm not. I feel like there's a lot of stipulations, or not stipulations. There's a stigma out there that he has to win next week. Doesn't make a fuck. He's won 60 times in his career. He ain't got nothing to prove. Let the man go out in peace.
Yep. It doesn't change anything about his career or his legacy. It would be cool, but it doesn't change anything.
But he is going to win next week. So anyway, this has been the Big Motor Small Blade Podcast. I'm Buddy Pulley.
I'm Seth Dalton.
I don't know why we're doing the intro again.
I'm Chuck.
You're Chuck. You're Chuck.
Chuck Folsom.
Yep.
No.
Yep. We'll see.
Well, we're not saying that. I know exactly what you're thinking. Seth, hit the
Yeah.
button. Hit the button.
Go
Hit the
fuck yourselves.
button.
Bye.
See you
See you later.